Hey guys, this is Big Communications. Welcome to my review of Horrible Bosses 2. A horrible fucking sequel that was really not needed, not necessary, and it shows. And a lot of people say it's just mediocre, but as a follow-up to this movie, which I think is a truly great film, one of the best comedies of this latest generation, this decade, so to speak, this was really a step down. Right from the get-go, the humor is just completely sophomoric. I mean, there were some moments in this where, yeah, I was a little bit sophomoric, and you know, uh, the whole putting shit up his ass type thing, or wet works and so forth. But I thought it was well handled. Here, it's too broad. It's way too broad of a stroke, and it's not funny. It's just like right off the bat, it's like, hey, this shower buddy invention that we're creating, we're gonna make it look like we're giving each other hand jobs. And I'm like, great. That's how the movie opens. It looks like they're giving each other hand jobs, like Jason Sudekis and Charlie Day or something. Like, yeah, this is hilarious. So wonderful. The original director from the first film does not come back. It's directed by Sean Anders instead, and he doesn't have nearly as much of the. I thought honestly, Seth Gordon was a much better director, and Sean Anders just doesn't have the same feel for the pacing in the film that Seth Gordon had. And anyway, what this movie to me is, it's like The Hangover 2 all over again. It's a sequel that's just the same shit, different movie. Really, they even call back to the putting shit up, your ass joke. And you have the three guys together, and it was kind of nice to see these three guys together again because Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, and Jason Sudekis are, they're a great trio. They're a great bunch of guys together. A lot of fun to watch. But this movie wasn't that much fun to watch because it was tired. It was fairly predictable. It was just lame. It was a lame ass sequel. So anyway, the movie opens up with the three guys, Nick Hendricks, Dale Arbus, and Kurt Buckman, and they decide to start their own business after being tired of working for ungrateful bosses. So their idea is a car wash-inspired showerhead called the Shower Buddy. They have trouble finding investors until they're approached by Bert Hansen and his son Rex. Bert Hansen is played by Christoph Waltz in a role that is pretty much thankless, and you could have had anybody play the role, really. I swear to God, he looked like Geraldo Rivera to me. I was just like, what is Geraldo doing in this movie? And his son Rex, played by Chris Pine. Bert admires their commitment to manufacturing the product themselves, while Rex prefers to outsource to China and agrees to invest if they can make 100,000 units. Rex, played by Chris Pine, is just a typical Chris Pine performance. I know some critics have praised his performance. I don't see it. This is an actor who has still not been able, in my opinion, to branch out and do anything different other than Captain Kirk. Different variations and different shades of Captain Kirk. It's the same performance that he's done in every movie. He's so stagnant with his acting style. It's unbelievable. He's just getting by looks, period. It's not because he's a really talented actor. I got to be honest. He's not getting by because of his talents as an actor. He's getting by because of his talents and, because of his face, because of how good he looks. And that it's really too bad that, he still has getting these roles just because he looks good. But in reality, honestly, Zac Efron has evolved more than he has. And Zac Efron took a while, but at least he made an effort to do that and evolved as an actor and delivered a really great performance in Neighbors. Chris Pine is just the same character as he's been in every movie in this film. So I don't get some of the praise that he gets for this performance. It was just as forgettable as any other performance that he's done, in my opinion. So taking out a business loan, the three rent a warehouse, they hire employees, and of course, Kurt hires all hot chicks, which isn't necessarily the best idea, but anyway, he wants to look at hot chicks. But then, of course, can't really date them But he didn't think about that because he's an idiot. And then they managed to produce their output. But Bert backs out of the deal at the last minute, claiming he never signed an agreement, and new plans on taking their inventory from foreclosure and selling them. Renamed the Shower Pal himself, while leaving the three with $500,000 in debt with their outstanding loan. And seeking financial advice, Nick, Dale, and Kurt visit Nick's old boss, Dave Harkin, in prison, who says the three have no feasible legal option to recover their losses. And the few scenes that Kevin Spacey had were pretty funny. But that's the funniest the movie got for me, was a few scenes with Kevin Spacey. Because the film even has fucking fart jokes. It even goes that lazy. It goes in, they're in a closet, and one of the guys farts in the closet. And I'm like, are we really going to do this again? I mean, it's like, you're going to fart in the closet. You know what that reminds me of? Another shitty comedy. Which what was the fucking name of that movie? It starred, oh god, it was such a shitty comedy. I can't even remember what the fuck it was called. I know Michael Biehn was in it. I know John Landis directed it. It was like one of the worst films I've ever seen him direct before. It was a huge disappointment considering the cast. Yeah, Susan's Plan. You have Billy Zane, Natasha Kinski, Michael Biehn, Rob Schneider, Lara Flynn Boyle, Thomas Hayden Church, Bill Duke, Adrian Paul, Dan Aykroyd, dying to get rich. That piece of shit. Had a scene where, you know, somebody farts in, you know, in a closet. But anyway, so they end up, so of course, after they talk to Harkin, they seek the help of Motherfucker Jones, played by Jamie Foxx, who says the best way to pull off a kidnapping is to kidnap someone who knows them and to keep them unconscious for the duration of the kidnapping. And, you know, it's just deja vu. It's like, it's just, you're watching this movie and you're like, this is a waste of money and a waste of my time. Because this is just, there wasn't much else they could have done. I mean, there was literally no reason to have a sequel to Horrible Bosses. It was a standalone movie. It didn't really have any opportunity for a sequel, except for maybe Harkin's new boss. But that's about it. But even then, it's not much. It's not enough for a full-blown sequel, and it shows. So they decide to do this kidnapping thing, and they even have this brainstorming scene, which is just really funny. Really, not really funny. I meant to say really unfunny, because it is. Forgive my flub of words there. It's unfunny. The screenplay by Sean Anders and John Morris, completely different writers than the first film, and it shows. Like, some of their humor is just one of the guys writes kidnapping wrong on the whiteboard, and so Jason Bateman's like, kidnapping? How do you? Is that even a word? You don't kidnap someone? And I'm like, that's just stupid. That's not even funny. That's just stupid. It's not even stupid. It's not even so stupid it's funny. It's just stupid. There's a lot of that. A lot of that humor in this movie. It's just stupid. It's just stupid ass bullshit when it comes to comedy. And it really pales in comparison to the first film. So they decide, okay, we're going to create a ransom note, $500,000, and go to the office of Dale's old boss, Dr. Julie Harris, to steal a tank of nitrous oxide. Kurt and Dale are almost caught by Julia's sex addiction group meeting. After the group leaves, Nick has sex with Julia, providing the distraction that allows Dale and Kurt to escape the building. That's where you have uncomfortable scenes where Nick comes in and has to distract Julia, so he acts like he's part of the group and says that he's gay. But of course, really he's not, but, you know, his friends kind of believe him, which is okay. There's some kind of humor to be had there. But it's just few and far between. Like, I maybe chuckled once or twice, maybe a few times. That's about it. There's not one scene in the film where I busted out laughing like in the first movie. So they get the nitrous oxide, they escape the building, they go to Rex's house, hide in the closet, but Dale turns on the tank and they pass out in the closet. They wake up in the morning, they find Rex gone. When they arrive back at the warehouse, they find Rex tied up in the trunk of their car. Rex gets out and reveals that he's been hiding in his closet, but he decides to stage his own kidnapping with them due to his strained relationship with his dad. And so Rex sent the ransom note to his dad and increased the ransom to $5 million. Three are uncertain of Rex's plan, but Rex threatens to go to police if they back out. They call Bert to inform him of Rex's kidnapping. after which Rex is confident Burt will not involve the cops. However, the police, led by Detective Hatcher, subsequently arrive at the warehouse to question Nick, Dale, and Kurt due to their involvement with Burt. When the police leave, Rex breaks down, knowing Burt cares more about his money than his son. Now sympathetic to Rex, the trio agrees to work with him in a fake kidnapping, and all four devise a plan to outsmart the police to take the ransom money, utilizing untraceable phones, a basement garage to block out any tracking signal, and Kurt disguising himself as Burt. But of course, what happens? Everything goes to shit, and fucking Chris Pine is a turncoat, and he's a dick, and he just wants the money, and he's gonna pin it on them, so, you know, he can kill his dad, which he does, and they pin the murder on them, and then he's gonna take the money. But of course, the motherfucker Jones comes in to save the day, helps them out, he takes the money, saves them, ends up getting them in a, you know, really honestly lame car chase, gets them in, you know, to the warehouse before Chris Pine is there, which they think, but actually he's there, and then the cops are there, and it's like a repeat of the first film. They're gonna get arrested, but then somehow somebody, they get incriminated. They get not really, they get incriminated first, but then Chris Pine, because of the ringtone, because Chris Pine has the same phone that was left to Burt by the kidnappers. That's, you know, starts ringing, so then that incriminates Chris Pine. So Rex shoots Dale, but Rex gets distracted long enough for Hatcher to subdue him. The cop Hatcher to take him out. And a few days later, Dale wakes up to find that the three did get in trouble because Dale helped save Hatcher's life, but the police dropped the charges. And then he also finds out that Julia helped to make the amends with Stacy because there was some drama with him and his wife, because she thought that he was dating, you know, Julia, because she basically forced him to sleep with her, or else she'd report them for breaking into her office. And in the aftermath, their business goes into foreclosure, but it's bought by Harkin in prison, which allows the three of them to stay employed. And then motherfucker Jones uses the ransom money to invest in Pinkberry, something that he always wanted to do in his life. And I hate the ending because it's just back to square one. They're working for fucking Harkin again. It's just like, it defeats the purpose. It's like, now that all three of them are working for Harkin. It's like, hey, you know, Jason Bateman went through all this trouble to get rid of Harkin, and then in the second movie, he's his boss again. It's like, that's bullshit. That really is. It's bullshit. It's like this fucking sequel. It's a bullshit sequel. It's lazy. It's uninspired. It's just a fucking half-assed cash grab. And it made over $100 million. The budget of the film was $42 million, which is higher than the first movie. It doesn't really show. In fact, I honestly think it looks cheaper than the first film. And it doesn't have the unique editing that the first movie has. It doesn't have the charm the first movie had. It doesn't even hold a candle to the first movie. It doesn't even come close to even being as good as one of the good scenes in the first movie. This is one of the most pathetic sequels I've seen since Hangover 2. It's a shitty sequel. It definitely doesn't live up to its title. Horrible Bosses 2 is a horrible fucking movie. I really don't know what else to say about the film. I know it's not a very long review or rant, but there's not much to say about the movie. It's just, let's get the three guys together again. Jason Sudekis, Charlie Day, and Jason Bateman. Throw in Jennifer Aniston for a bit. Let's get Harkin back, and let's add in some new, and we'll get motherfucker Jones, Jamie Foxx, and we'll get some characters that, we'll get a new character, two new characters that aren't nearly as interesting or as fun to watch as the three in the first film. You know, Chris Pine, Mr. I always play the same character in every goddamn movie I'm in. Pretty boy Pine, and then you have Christoph Waltz looking like Geraldo Rivera, and that's all you got. And then you have they try to go into business and be their own bosses, which is like, okay, it's kind of interesting, but then of course it goes south. Things go sour. They get screwed over, and then they got to get in some other thing, and they got to do some more crime, and they got to do another crime, decide to fucking kidnap somebody, and then they try to do this plot where I want to be kidnapped. You know what? If I want to watch a movie, and this is kind of sad, considering this isn't even the greatest movie in the world either, But if I want to watch a movie about got a bunch of friends who kidnap somebody, and then it ends up being kind of an endearing relationship, but at the same time there's a little bit of intrigue going on, and I'll watch Celtic Pride. Seriously, I will watch Celtic Pride with Dan Aykroyd and Daniel Stern and Damon Wayans any day of the week over Horrible Bosses 2. It's got a better ending. It makes more fucking sense. And here it's just like, well, well, the ending of Celtic Pride, like I said, could have had some work. Like, I would have liked for Damon Wayans to get traded to the Celtics, but that's a whole nother story. I reviewed that movie already. But that handled the whole kidnapping thing better. They got drunk, they kidnapped him, and then they kept him kidnapped, and then he escaped, and then he blackmailed them to dress up as jazz fans, to the game, and they ultimately became friends. Here it's just like, hey, they're friends, but not really, because I knew there was not 1 second while I was watching the film that I did not expect Chris Pine at the end of the movie to basically frame the 3 guys and take the money and do some crazy shit. Didn't expect him to kill his dad. That's one surprise, but I did expect him to steal the money, and that's what happened. But I could deal with some of the predictability of the story if the jokes are funny, but I can't remember a single fucking joke from this movie. And I can remember a bunch of jokes from the first film. I can't remember one joke from the sequel that I thought was really funny, really memorable, that really made me laugh my ass off. And that's an example of a shitty, piss poor, pathetic fucking comedy right there. So yeah, this is a shit stain of a sequel. I don't want to see Horrible Bosses 3. There isn't going to be a third one. And if you like the film, cool. That's fine with me. To each their own, but I didn't. This is a terrible fucking sequel. And if I could redo my worst films of the year list, I'd put that on the list. But I didn't see the film when I did the worst films of the year list. So it's definitely on there now, though, because it's not only just a shitty, really lame, little to no work put into it sequel, but it's also disappointing because I'm a big fan of the first film, and the sequel just pisses on any goodwill that the first film had, and just decides to just rehash stuff that worked from the first movie and add new stuff that doesn't work at all, and new characters that just suck dick, and then end with fucking they're Harkin's boss, which to me isn't funny, and it's just a slap in the face, or a dick slap in the face to anybody who liked the first movie and enjoyed those characters. And it's just like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Isn't that funny? They work for Harkin now. No, it's not. It's not fucking funny. It's fucking stupid and it's bullshit. It's like this fucking sequel. So what do I really else to say about Horrible Bosses 2? Except once again, it's a horrible fucking sequel. I'm gonna rate it out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give a 1 just for a couple fucking scenes that made me chuckle, but I don't even remember what the fuck they were. So that's a great comedy for you folks. So there's a couple scenes that made me laugh, but I don't even remember what the fuck they were. And I watched this just a couple weeks ago maybe. So that's not an excuse, because I've seen some movies a couple weeks ago, like Birdman, that I still remember and still laugh at some scenes that I can think of, but nothing here. I got nothing. So anyway, thank you for watching my review / rant on Horrible Bosses 2, and I will see you guys later. See ya.